Welcome back to the Body Bible Study Session 5. During the break, we had a question. What's to do with tongues? And since we're talking about talk to God first, let's talk about tongues. 1 Corinthians 14. 1 Corinthians 14. I'm going to read it. Pursue love and desire spiritual gifts, but especially that you may prophesy. For he who speaks in a tongue does not speak to men, but to God. For no one understands him. However, in the Spirit, he speaks mysteries. I'm going to read that again. For he who speaks in a tongue does not speak to men, but to God. For no one understands him. However, in the Spirit, he speaks mysteries. So when someone speaks in tongues, they are speaking not to men, not to the people around them, but to God. For no one understands him. However, in the Spirit, he speaks mysteries. Which is why when someone talks about speaking in tongues, they also use the term speaking in the Spirit. When someone says praying in the Spirit, it means praying in tongues. Let's keep moving. Verse 4. He who speaks in a tongue edifies himself, but he who prophesies edifies the church. Second point about tongues. When you speak in tongues, you build yourself up. You're speaking in the Spirit. You're speaking mysteries to God. And while you're speaking, it is building you up. He who speaks in tongues edifies himself. So the first thing is, you're speaking mysteries to God. And what is talking to God? Pray. That's all forms of talking to God, is a form of prayer. So you're praying to God in a language that only God understands, one. And two, you are also simultaneously building yourself up. Then here's what the Apostle Paul says in verse 5. I wish you all spoke with tongues, but even more that you prophesy. Why is that first part important? Because he understands the value of speaking in tongues so much that he says, I wish everybody spoke in tongues, so that everybody can build themselves up. But also, I wish that everyone prophesied, so that everyone can build each other up. Both are important. One builds you up personally, and the other builds the other people up around you. Then he says, for he who prophesies is greater than he who speaks with tongues. Why? Because the one who prophesies is building the people up around him, and the one who speaks in tongues is building up himself. Both are good. But he sees more value in building other people around you. Let's keep going. Then he says, unless indeed he interprets, that the church may receive edification. When it comes to building other people up, the only way tongues is of value to the other people is if you interpret those tongues and then you give them an explanation that they can understand. Then they are edified. And we want to make sure we draw the distinction, because the truth is, most of the times when you're praying, you're by yourself. So you're not going to prophesy to the air when you are the one who needs the strength at that point in time. Now, if you're in a church and you want to build up the other people around you, that's the value of prophesying in a language that they understand. But when you're praying to God and it's between you and God, you can speak mysteries to him and you can build yourself up in tongues. Let's keep going. Verse 6. But now, brethren, if I come to you speaking with tongues, what shall it profit you? And why is he saying this? Because earlier he said, if I speak in tongues, it profits me. It builds me up. So I know I need the tongues for me. But if I come to you, I don't come to you and try to have a conversation with you in tongues if I know you're not going to understand what I'm saying. Unless I speak to you either by revelation, by knowledge, by prophesying, or by teaching. So the point he was making is, look, when you speak in tongues, you're edifying yourself, you're building yourself up, you're speaking to God, you're plugging into God. You're plugging into supernatural power that's flowing in one direction, from God to you. Skip down to verse 14. And this is for Trevor. This is the exact answer to the question you asked.
Right.
Verse 14. I want you to read. Go ahead.
For if I pray in tongues, my spirit is praying, but I don't understand what I'm saying.
You get it?
Yeah.
That's what the Apostle Paul says.
Right.
Because when a man prays in tongues, that's when his spirit begins to do the praying.
What they don't hear.
And his mind does not understand what he is praying. And let me tell you what's fascinating about the spirit. There is no time, and there is no space in the spirit, and there is no limit to the knowledge of the spirit. As a result, I can only pray for what I know. I can't pray for what I don't know. So when I pray in tongues and my spirit begins to pray, I pray for things that I don't know, I pray for things that I don't see, and I pray for things that haven't even happened yet. So I tap into a realm that's beyond my natural understanding, and I start doing business above my natural ability. So now I take control of an atmosphere or of a situation that I didn't even know is coming in my life, or that may be going on in another part of the world right now. I don't know what's about to happen. I've had times, listen, I'll give you testimony. I woke up in the middle of the night and just prayed in tongues. That day, one of my friends, she's like, you know what happened today? Strange at the bank. It's like, what? She's like, I just felt like using the bathroom. Just like randomly. They robbed the bank while she was in the bathroom. She walked into the bathroom, and she closed the door, and she's in there, and she's and she's hearing noise and stuff. Like, just sit here, just stay quiet. They robbed the bank while she was in the bathroom. Of course she's stupid, wait till everything quiet down before you come out of this room. By the time you come out, they don't rob the bank. And I remember that morning, waking up, praying. I didn't know what was coming. God didn't say, my son, a bank is about to be robbed, and your friend is about to be in the middle of it. Go declare that you want to go to the bathroom at the right point in time, that when they come to rob the place, that you will not be there. I wouldn't even understand what he's saying. I'll be like, let me go back to sleep right now. I'm tired. God said, get up, pray. And that's what we're praying for, and that's what tongues does. Yes. You pray for the future, you pray beyond your location, and you pray beyond your understanding. Right. Because I don't need to understand what I am praying for if God telling me what to pray for. Right. I don't need to know, it's not about me. God's the one saying, I just need your mouth right now. Because you're a human being and you have authority on the earth, and I want to use you to get what I need to get done on the earth. So allow me to use your mouth to take care of your friend. And he's like, praying in the spirit does that because our understanding is limited. There's things God will tell you to do, and if you want to think about it, you'll be like, that make no sense. That's why I don't want you to understand. Just go ahead and pray in the spirit, please. I ain't telling you. Because he'll tell you to pray some stuff that you don't even want to pray. And you're like, I don't want to pray that. He said, that's why I didn't tell you to pray in English. That's why I'm telling you. I don't want to tell you what to pray for. I want you to pray in tongues. There's two scriptures. One, it says, for we know not how to pray like we ought to, but the Spirit, with groanings which cannot be uttered. He's the one who directs the prayer when you're out of your league. You ever been in a situation and it's beyond you, you're going up against an enemy right now who bigger and badder than you, and you ain't ready. And God's like, don't even try to think about what you're going to say. Tongues. And that's what tongues is for. Tongues is like our secret weapon. That's the one that you pull out when, hey, stuff's falling apart, and I don't know what to do. I can't think. I don't even know what to pray. I don't even know what to think. I can't remember those scriptures. I can't remember John 3:16. For God, I'm so messed up right now, I can't think. He's like, tongues. And that's the secret to praying in tongues. That's the power of praying in tongues. It allows you to tap into the spirit realm and your spirit takes over. Your spirit's like, all right, mind, step back, fall back. All right, body, fall back. You can't see far enough. Mind, you can't think enough about this. Let me do this. Because the spirit lives in eternity. There was no beginning to your spirit. Your spirit has no beginning. It came straight out of God. And your spirit has no end. So you're all of a sudden out of the limitations of time and space, where you can't be in two places at the same time, and you're out of that realm and you step out of it and you're like, all right, let me go fight this battle in a dimension where I can really have power. And that's when your spirit man says, I got this, fall back. And that's praying in tongues. Your mind doesn't have to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, Acts chapter 1, read about it. When the Holy Spirit came upon the church, what was the first gift that was manifested? The gift of speaking in tongues. Thank you.